laughing. Dirac ART for Denon Marantz going to be delayed till next year.
I'm only laughing because I've known about this for a minute and I wasn't able to say anything.
Yeah. What do you call it? You know what I'm laughing about this is, dude, you don't need this shit, dude. You don't need this shit. You know, who cares? Who cares if it's delayed another? You don't need this shit.
Yeah.
There's that.
Oh man. It's funny because I'm in a forum for the Monolith HTTP1, which is what I'm using right now.
Yeah.
And they promised that it was going to have art for a long time. And people are constantly in there saying, when's art coming out? When's art coming out? Right? Because I think it should have come out prior. And, you know, I just kind of went in there and said, where's Dirac ART for, you know, Denon and Marantz? They're a big company. Right? Where's Denon? Where's Dirac ART for them? Right? It's not like
not there.
all the other. It's only Storm Audio who has it.
Yep.
Right? So you can complain once you see that, you know, Denon and Marantz has it, but maybe the HTTP one doesn't. Okay, that's cause for a complaint, right? But at that point, it makes me wonder, who's the one who's holding it up then? Because the blame is always on like, oh, Denon and Marantz or Monolith. Well, come on, guys.
Maybe Dirac.
Maybe. Why wouldn't you think about it that way too? Maybe that's what's happening. So no.
Yeah. I mean, I heard it. I heard my Atmos mix, one that I worked on for months on a Storm Audio with Dirac ART, and Dirac ART was running. And I'll tell you this, my objects were not pinpointable. They were fuzzy. Therefore, I do not like Dirac ART because it changes my artistic intent. Right? Chad AV says, why don't we need Dirac ART? Isn't it the best thing ever?
Is it the best thing ever? I think we mentioned it. I think it does what.
Let me tell you something. Honestly, man, these big, expensive pre-pros and the processors, I feel like they need to come up with new shit every 1 or 2 years to justify to their customer base that they made the right decision in spending $16,000 or $30,000 on a pre-pro. So they got to come up with new shit just to add it. And that's it. That's it. I don't think it's necessary. I don't, but that's for me. I'm in a space where like all my speakers are equidistant to me, and I know exactly where they are. And you know, if you need the Trinov's remapping because you have a center speaker that's off to the right for some reason, then yeah, you need that. I mean, you really don't. You just, you know, if you start off with good speaker placement, I don't think you need any of these like highfalutin things.
Well,
that's all.
So I was a beta tester for Dirac ART, so I feel like I'm allowed to speak on it. You know, the former CEO and co-founder of Dirac and their senior engineer, they came over here to my house for 4 hours to listen to the system with Dirac ART applied to it. So that's not everybody who gets to do that. And I feel like I am in a position to talk about this. And in my testing, which was in my home theater setup and also here in the studio setup, so two totally different scenarios, I found that Dirac ART does what they say it's going to do, which is, if I were to just kind of simplify everything, it makes it sound as if you are in an anechoic chamber for a certain frequency. So for the bass specifically, it takes out it can take out the reflections in the bass, right? And so does that sound good though? That is the real question. Do you want it to sound like you're kind of in an anechoic chamber, you know, when it comes to your bass? Is that something that's desirable? And I would say in some situations, the answer is yes, it is desirable. But I think what they would need, and this is my recommendation to Dirac after doing the beta testing, was they need a way to reduce it right? So sometimes it's not. It shouldn't be on or off. And there are ways to do it with their system, but it's not easy at all. It should be like they set it and then just one slider, like turn it down a little bit more, figure out how much bass you want to reduce and how much you want to keep it sounding natural. Because to me, it sounded unnatural. Like the bass was unnaturally like tight. Like that doesn't sound realistic in my room. Now, I think I could get used to it if I just watched a movie. I'd kind of forget about it and I'd just enjoy the system. But I think that's what they might be up against when they finally do release this. I think they're going to find out. People are going to say, hey, it does work. I don't know if I like it. I don't know if I like that. You know, I think if they find a way to make it so that you can adjust that, I think a lot of people are going to say, wow, it's really good.
I keep it on minimum. Not even medium. Right.
Make sure to check out our audio-only version of the podcast at anchor.fm/Daily HiFi, or just go to your favorite podcasting service and search for Daily HiFi.